Nearly 400 Ekurhuleni Metro Police officers are at risk of losing their jobs. They've been slapped with pre-dismissal letters after embarking on strike action last month for better working conditions and salaries. The officers are accused of conducting themselves in an unlawful manner and failing to report for duty, but they can still argue against that dismissal. Covering that story for us, Newzroom Afrika's Scara Mafokoane, who joins us now. Scara, good evening to you. The news of pre-dismissal letters, how are the officers taking it?
Good evening to you, Chloe, and the viewers. First of all, Chloe, it's a different side to what you see currently, Chloe. 2 hours ago, those officers, nearly 400 of them, were gathered just behind me at the Kempton Park precinct. Gathered here, they were called back from their respective posts, Chloe, where they were exercising their duties as officers. They were called to the office and handed those pre-termination letters. But allow me, Chloe, to step out of shot and just show you what is behind me. Those cars that you see behind me, those officers were driving them. So they were called back to the office. They had to park those cars, hand the keys back to management at this office, and those officers were disarmed. Now, we know that those officers, Chloe, are accused of using the very same vehicles and embarking on that strike last month, bringing major routes in the municipality to almost a standstill, Chloe. And here we're talking about highways like the R21, the N3, the N12, and the R24. So you can ask yourself what impact this is going to have on the city's efforts in crime combating, Chloe. Almost 400 officers will not be reporting for duty tomorrow here in Kempton Park, Chloe. But talking about those officers, I had a chance to speak to them. And of course, Chloe, they are not allowed to speak, or no, they didn't want to speak to us on camera, but they told us that from here, they'll be meeting with their lawyers and union representatives to chart a way forward. But we also know that in the pre-termination letter, Chloe, it was stated that they must not report for duty, they must not exercise any official police work until they submit those written submissions, Chloe. But a little earlier, we spoke to the city, and let's take a listen to what they had to say.
To block a major highway such as the R21, the N17, the N3, I mean, the R21 is a road to a national key point. So you can understand that there was a serious security issue there. Also, just the conduct of the officers. People look at EMPD as people who are there to protect and serve. And when they see them in a strike and blocking traffic, it sends a very wrong message. So we always committed that we're going to take decisive action as a city. It took some time, and that was mainly due to the fact that we wanted to have all our ducks in a row. There was a lot of surveillance footage that we had to sift through to see exactly who was participating in the march, so we can confirm the identities of these individuals. And now we're going to take it into the disciplinary process in accordance to our HR policies and Labor Relations Act.
A very serious situation indeed that these officers find themselves in. You can imagine if a single of these officers were to lose their job, the impact of that on their families, and these are close to 400 of these people. We're hoping to speak to the South African Municipal Workers Union a little later. Scara Mafokoane covering that story for us. Thank you very much indeed for the time being live for us there in Ekurhuleni.